Hey. Whoa. You know what's so funny was coming to my mind? We got less than a minute to go for today's message. It was so funny it was coming to my mind while I was waiting to hit the go live as I was thinking about the Wizard of Oz, right? When the good witch said to the come out wherever you are, because I'm thinking, come on, hey, I'm giving you time to come on stage. Oh, and if you're watching the video, you've got less than a minute, so you still got time. Okay, so don't worry about it. But anyway, it's great to be in position to have thoughts and reflections and and sometimes we overlook that, but that's really important. So don't take your thoughts and reflections for granted. The chance to live your life and get to do it another day or another minute is huge. Don't let it be just a cliche. Okay, so let's get rolling here. Okay, so welcome to Gift Friday. Oops, let's click this button instead. I I created because so often we hear people say TGIF, thank God it's Friday. But I say, what a Lord does Friday have to the person who took their last breath on Thursday? Therefore, oops, you know what I forgot to say? Goodness to you. And goodness, you know why I say goodness? Because I don't know whether you're watching morning, afternoon, or evening. But isn't it great to have good in front of your salutation and to have the opportunity to change direction? See, again, that's what I was talking about, celebrating life. Some things that people call mistakes are just opportunities. And so that was the opportunity to give you the start over, but to just refresh the moment and let it be a goodness. But anyway, like I said, a lot of people say TGIF, thank God it's Friday. But what about those people who took their last breath on Thursday or any day before that for that matter? Therefore, I use what I learned through Psalm 92:2, and that is, it is good to proclaim your unfailing love in the morning, your faithfulness in the evening. Therefore, instead of using TGIF, excuse me, what I use is TGIT. Thank God it's today. And then TGIT, thank God it's tonight. And that allows me to add another one of my favorite scriptural messages, and that is from Matthew 6:34. So don't worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will bring its own worries. TGIT, thank God it's tonight. Today's trouble is enough for today. TGIT, thank God it's today. Yes, darkness always precedes the light. And it gives us another use for TGIF, and that is trusting. Trusting God is free. Trusting God is free. Think about it. What does it cost to receive the greatest gift of any day? The gift of waking up. And P.S. by the way, we don't need to reduce that to waking up from a night of sleep. How about if you take a power nap? How about if you just doze off at any time in the day? You get to wake up again. And so that's trusting God is free. Doesn't cost you a thing to wake up. What a gift, okay? But that still moves us into realizing that we could do a little bit of math in that case. Let's do some subtraction and some addition. First, let's subtract the T from the front of TGIF and add it to the end. And we get what? GIFT. And what we really need to be thanking God for, and that is the gift of life, right? And the gift is GIFT. God is for today. Every day is a wonderful gift. And Gift Friday is the online sharing of one of my original poems or poetic messages. Excuse me. There we go. So that you can share it with other people online, in person, and more importantly, in your spirit. Because we have to share from within, because we don't know what we can't, we find out what we can't do without. I like that. I might have to add that. But anyway, here you hear me read one of my original poems, and then I'll share that and how you can use it. And then what I'll do is I'll drop the poem in the thread so that you can have your own colorful keepsake copy of the poem. Today, I've chosen a poem that speaks to what I believe is a constant in our world. And it's a repeat message, but that's part of the deal anyway, is how important it is to repeat some of the things. So let me know where you're viewing in from, even if you're watching on the video, because that could change things. And that's my message about today is from my book, I found out I'm living, an affirmation of life. It's a storyline in poetry about spiritual acceptance and growth. It's the sequel to I Found Out I'm Dying, a celebration of life. That's letting go of the physical self. But once you let go of the physical self, you embrace the spiritual, and then you find out that you're really living. So there's my QR code if you'd like to get a copy of the book, and I'll reintroduce that later as I close out the broadcast. But today's poem is about the concept of change. The concept of change. See, and change is important. And the poem is called Turning Points. If I wake up today the exact same person I was yesterday, perhaps I never went to sleep. For through the years, as my mind has hungered for knowledge, my curiosity has gotten the best of me, even when I gave it no target. And my ability to understand yesterday fuels the happiness I continuously plan to enjoy. A happiness and joy I accept into my life in as many ways as possible, recognizing its short and long term intentions in retrospect. I hold on to each moment outwardly bold, courageous, and determined, while inside afraid, bewildered, and cautious. And my belief system asks that I acknowledge my fortune and reward myself for mastering change as I have. Though I can't remember the first step or fall I've taken, I recall the last. Unable to quote each word I've spoken or heard, I share my wisdom, recount all I've learned. I've refused to give in, turned down offers, missed an opportunity, forgotten and forgiven, loved and lost, won and wondered. And my belief system asks that I acknowledge my spirituality and reward myself for mastering change as I have. Since I reached my first goal this morning, waking up, I've lived each minute and second unlike the last. And as I focus on what I'm good at and what I like about myself, I live for the present, not the past. For I could have surrendered a long time ago. Instead, I chose to stay, to embrace myself, to brace myself for the next turning point, and to call it yesterday. What a great poem to talk about that concept of change. And what does change, I'm sorry, what a great poem to talk about the concept of change, regret, choices, decision, commitment. All of those can come under the umbrella of change. All of these are components, and all these can the umbrella of commitment, and all of them are components of commitment. So think of what types of decisions and commitments are you making to yourself? Not as New Year's resolutions that you may have already trashed more than 6 months ago. Well, yeah, we're not in July yet, so more than 5 months ago, but as part of your daily belief system. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back and break the poem down stanza by stanza. The first stanza reminds us that every day we change. Every day we wake up as a new person. It reads, if I wake up today the exact same person I was yesterday, perhaps I never went to sleep. So every day we wake up as a new person. Next, we wake up as a new person. Next, our expectations are based on the past. You see, we have the opportunity to see that past as a positive track record of resiliency while recognizing that life is short. You ever always hear people that life is short? It is. So let go of regret. And here's how it reads in the poem. So in fact, once you download the poem, you can come back and read this and see that and see those messages. For through the years, as my mind has hungered for knowledge, my curiosity has gotten the best of me, even when I gave it no target. And my ability to understand yesterday fuels the happiness I continuously plan to enjoy. A happiness and joy I accept into my life in as many ways as possible, recognizing its short and long-term intentions in retrospect. let go of regret. This next stanza, this next stanza speaks to the notion that all of us are going through something on the inside that we're hiding on the outside. And note that that's wonderful, for your faith is what's on the inside. So it goes on to remind you to trust your track record because you have not been lucky to get this far. You have been blessed to navigate through storm after storm. Give yourself credit by giving God the praise. Only then will you be ready to appreciate what He's got in store for you on the next turn. And that stanza reads, I hold on to each moment outwardly bold, courageous, and determined, while inside, afraid, bewildered, and cautious. And my belief system asks that I acknowledge my fortune and reward myself for mastering change as I have. All of us are going through something on the inside, and it's something that we're hiding on the outside. Now, this next stanza is one that says, you are somebody's messenger. And it won't always seem like you're headed in the right direction. So you have to embrace the decisions that you've made because they've impacted many people who you can't see. And that stanza reads, though I can't remember the first step or fall I've taken, think about it. As a baby, you don't remember the first step you took as a baby or this first time you fell. Your parents may, your older brothers and sisters may, but you don't. But unable. So let me reread that line. Though I can't remember the first step or fall I've taken, I recall the last. Unable to quote each word I've spoken or heard, I share my wisdom, recount all I've learned. I've refused to give in, turned down offers, missed an opportunity, forgotten and forgiven, loved and lost, won and wondered. And my belief system asks that I acknowledge my spirituality and reward myself for mastering change as I have. See the difference between being a child and being an adult? So embrace the decisions that you've made. And finally, this final stanza asks, are you living in the past? Have you given yourself credit for pushing through? However you answer each question, that was a choice that you made about today. So here's how that stanza reads. Since I reached my first goal this morning, waking up, I've lived each minute and second unlike the last. And as I focus on what I'm good at and what I like about myself, I live for the present, not the past. For I could have surrendered a long time ago. Instead, I chose to stay, to embrace myself for the next turning point and to call it yesterday. See, that was a choice that you made about today and a commitment you can make about how you're going to live today. So that's the turning points in your life. And so you'll notice that my lettering, well, my lettering is in gold, but it was supposed to be in gray, but the technology changed it. But remember that change is not in black and white. Change is in small doses of gray. In fact, today I turned 69 and 10 months. Yeah, you have to create celebrations. That's why I didn't wear my headset today, so you can see the gray, okay? I'm 69 and 10 months. I got 2 months to go to hit 70, y'all. So that's, create celebrations for yourself. That's what you want to do. Create those celebrations because that's the turning point. So let me ask you, what are you celebrating today? What did you celebrate last week? What are you going to celebrate next week? Go on and throw some of those things in the thread so that people can know that you're celebrating and people can celebrate with you. You know what I like to wish people every now and then? A happy birthday Eve. Did you ever do that? Wish somebody happy birthday Eve. Tomorrow they're going to have their new birthday, or happy one day if it's a day after. For instance, I don't send out happy belated. I count how late my message is, my birthday salutation is, and so happy first week of your new birthday. Okay. So, create things to celebrate. Okay. But not only do we and have we all continue to experience turning points in our lives, we're all loved and we all have an impact on someone's life that makes us an important piece of their puzzle. Life is about going from one puzzle to the next. In each of your business, social, or family situations and relationships, you're either a small, medium, or large piece of the puzzle. Yet, no matter what puzzle piece size you see yourself as, even if you see yourself as the smallest, without you, the puzzle is incomplete. Remember, let me put this back up large for you. You are a valuable piece of the puzzle in somebody's life, regardless of the size you think you are. And because of who you are and what you mean to that person or those people, there's a good chance that you've helped them turn a corner at some point in their life. A corner called turning point. So have a safe weekend. And if you like a copy of the poem, TGIT, Thank God It's Today, and Thank God It's Tonight. If you'd like a copy of the poem, it'll be available in the thread. If you'd like a copy of the book or would like to sign up to receive my free monthly fun letter, which I'm getting ready to send out next week, scan a QR code and have a ball. Meanwhile, there are also 3 of my new t-shirts that will be available starting next week when you go to follow the QR code or my link to my store. So a lot of good things going on. What's going on, Lorenzo? Okay, love it, life and love. Yeah, and no matter what order you put it in, love, life, and joy. Just celebratory words I wanted to put on my t-shirts, okay? But meanwhile, hey, I'm Sporty King, and I wish you a happy Gift Friday and weekend. Be safe and remember that God is for today and He's in charge of every single turn. Of every single turn and every single turning point. God bless you and take care. Peace. Love you, my brother. Love you too, Lorenzo. Keep dancing, man. Keep dancing. All right. Over and out. I'm going to give it a 5-second countdown because there's a delay in the technology. So just as Lorenzo put a message in, if you're watching the video, come on, let me know where you're viewing in from. And again, let me know what you're celebrating today, what you celebrated last week, what you're going to celebrate next week. And create something. Are you celebrating the fact that you're going to see somebody for the first time? You're celebrating that you're getting off of work at 3 o'clock. You're celebrating that the weather is good. You celebrate something. See, there we go. 43rd anniversary yesterday. Happy anniversary. Happy ongoing anniversary celebration. And you know what? That could be, for instance, I'm getting ready to celebrate 15 years in Charlotte. Starting in July. Actually, June was when I became a resident of Charlotte because I came down and paid my rent, first month's rent, and moved into my apartment on June 1st. But then I went back to Chicago and lived my final month in Chicago, closing out my bills and everything. And then I physically moved down here in July. So I'm going to celebrate that. Every day can be an anniversary of something. And you know what? Hey, maybe Dr. Google knows, but I would think that would be something that you can use in terms of helping to battle dementia, or any kind of depression. Just thinking of good things that have happened in your life. Hey, and now that I said that out loud, you might say some of those things when you have dementia and you don't even know that you're saying it, somebody else does. Hey, you know what? You got to find laughter. It's hard being a trophy husband. Oh, good one, Lorenzo. And your wife is fine too, though. So y'all trophying each other out. That's the way to go. Congratulations, and please wish her a happy anniversary from me as well. Oh, the trophy. See, that's you'll find things to celebrate. And again, P.S. by the way, like I say, with the gray, that's why I didn't wear my headset today. So I love my gray. I do. And Lorenzo's got his wisdom white going on as well. In fact, I used to joke and tell people I call this rent-a-gray, so that I can see what I'm going to look like if I get old. Look, I'm going to get out of here, all right? So 5, 4, 3, 2, and he is the one. And so are you. Take care. God bless you, and I'll see you next week. Ciao.